It starts as a loop, walking the same circle every single day. The trigger rings like a bell, and the response is automatic. Craving that cheap dopamine hit always comes before the crash. We tell ourselves just one last time, knowing it's a lie. The habit feels like a warm blanket, but it's actually a heavy net. It's used to silence the noise inside the head. Boredom becomes a monster too scary to face alone. We think we're in control, but the puppet strings say otherwise. The phone stays glued to the hand, stealing life seconds at a time. Feelings are eaten because they are too hard to digest. Procrastination acts as the thief of dreams. Long-term happiness is traded for short-term pleasure. The brain fog makes it impossible to see the exit. Potential is burned like cheap fuel to keep warm. Mirrors are avoided when we don't like who we see. The comfort zone is a beautiful cage with an open door. Identifying as the smoker or the lazy one keeps us stuck. The fear of withdrawal feels like a physical wall. Suddenly, realizing the habit is a parasite feeding on energy. The first step is admitting that the chain exists. Willpower is a battery that drains, not an infinite source. The bad habit needs to be made invisible, not just resisted. Identity must shift. I am not a smoker versus I am trying to quit. Breaking a habit leaves a void that must be filled. The valley of disappointment is where most people give up. Aim for 1% better every day, not overnight perfection. Accountability is the mirror that forces honesty. Visual cues trigger the loop. They must be removed. Shame is a terrible fuel for change. Self-compassion works better. Urge surfing means riding the wave of craving until it breaks. A why is needed that is stronger than the want. Focus on systems, not just the end goals. Make the bad habit harder by increasing the friction. The 2-minute rule makes the new habit impossibly easy to start. Temptation bundling pairs what is needed with what is wanted. Don't break the chain of daily progress. A slip-up is not a failure unless you stop trying. We become the average of the 5 people we spend time with. Replace stress smoking or eating with deep breathing. Celebrate small wins to rewire the brain's reward system. Design the environment so the bad habit requires high effort. The 20-second rule puts distance between you and the vice. Visualize the person you want to become, not just the habit you want to stop. The plateau of latent potential means results take time to show. You can't fight a craving if you are hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Halt. Mindfulness creates a pause button between the trigger and the action. Journaling connects the dots between mood and habits. Sleep deprivation weakens the prefrontal cortex and willpower. Learn to say no to peer pressure without apology. A relapse is a pothole, not a canyon. Don't jump off the cliff. Boredom creates a dopamine detox that makes simple things colorful again. Use if-then planning to automate the response to stress. Make the habit unattractive by highlighting the negatives. The compound effect means small changes roll into an avalanche of success. Change self-talk from a critic to a coach. Use a commitment device to lock into good behavior. Clutter in the space leads to clutter in the mind. Time is the only resource we can't get back. Stop wasting it. Focus on the system of being a runner, not just the goal of the marathon. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. True change happens when identity changes, not just actions. The cost of inaction is the regret of a life unlived. Avoid the "what the hell" effect. Breaking one rule doesn't ruin the day. Use visualization to rehearse success in the mind before it happens. The Goldilocks rule keeps habits challenging but doable. Design the environment so the good choice is the default choice. The dopamine trap confuses wanting something with liking the result. Stress is the most common trigger. Find healthy ways to decompress. The danger of just checking, opening the door a crack lets the monster back in. Find healthy substitutes that satisfy the same underlying need. Prioritize sleep. A tired brain has no defenses against craving. Shame spirals keep us trapped. Guilt leads to corrective action. Play the long game. Compound interest applies to self-improvement too. Learn to sit with boredom without immediately reaching for distraction. Use a Ulysses pact to lock in future behavior while rational. Celebrate small wins to rewire the brain to enjoy the process. We are the average of the people around us. Choose wisely. Beware of nostalgia. Memory edits out the bad parts of the habit. Surfing the urge means knowing the wave cannot drown you. The final realization? We have held the key to the chains the entire time. The paperclip strategy helps visualize progress with every small win. Craving is just a misinterpretation of a physical sensation. Replace the ritual, not just the substance. The spotlight effect is a myth. Everyone isn't watching your failures. Every small action is a vote cast for a new identity. The middle of the journey is the messiest. Keep walking. Forgive the past self. They were just trying to survive. Identify the keystone habit, the one good habit that pulls the rest. The joy of missing out, JOMO, replaces the fear of missing out. When the brain fog lifts, colors become brighter again. Helping others is the best way to heal oneself. Don't negotiate with the terrorist in the brain. The implementation intention. If the trigger happens, then take action. Remove the cue, and the habit eventually dies of starvation. It's not losing a friend, it's evicting a toxic enemy. Recovery is not a straight line, it's a spiral upwards. The pre-commitment means throwing the key away so there is no going back. The brain is plastic. It can be rewired at any age. The monster that looked huge in the dark is tiny in the light. Freedom tastes like the air after a storm. The never miss twice rule keeps you on track. Treat boredom as the fertilizer for creativity, not a signal to consume. Be the architect of life, not the victim of impulses. Set bright lines, clear, non-negotiable boundaries. The habit loop is replaced by a gratitude loop. Self-trust returns when promises to oneself are kept. Energy returns like a flood after the dam breaks. Avoid the sunk cost fallacy. Don't hold on to a mistake. Recovery creates a ripple effect, inspiring everyone around. Stop counting the days and simply start living. The craving is now a ghost that passes through harmlessly. Discipline equals freedom. The word someday is replaced by today. You are stronger than your strongest excuse. The view from the top of the mountain makes the struggle worth it. The chains of the past are melted down into tools for the future. Realizing the crutch was never needed to walk. The silence in the head becomes peaceful, not empty. You are the hero of your own story, writing a new chapter. Walking into the light, leaving the shadow behind forever.